It started innocuously enough. Most of my recent PC gaming adventures do, before they inexplicably snowball into a hellscape of technical misfortune. I simply wanted to play some Halo Infinite multiplayer on my PC. No, not on Linux. It's still not possible. And not even on Windows 11. I wanted to play on my pricey, but not remotely exotic, Falcon Northwest Talon. It's a pretty standard build, really. Windows 10, an Asus ROG 4K monitor, an AMD Ryzen 3900X CPU, and a Radeon RX 6800 XT. Halo Infinite had been surprise launched for about 72 hours, so I hoped, the game-breaking bugs might be smoothed over. I fired up Steam, eagerly anticipating the gloriously comedic mayhem of big team battles. And then this happened. Look at this, washed out. Totally fine. Completely washed out. Totally fine. HDR is off, by the way. I switched HDR on and off, but it made no difference. I rebooted. I rolled back my Radeon graphics driver. I rebooted again. I lowered the graphics quality and switched between windowed and borderless. No amount of troubleshooting or tweaking or praying brought forth any kind of solution. I threw up my hands in frustration and decided to try another approach. So my trusty gaming PC brought no joy, but I had recently slapped a clean installation of Windows 11 Pro on a laptop that I have, which has a Ryzen 5800H and an NVIDIA RTX 3080. And here's the crucial part of this story. I planned to connect that laptop to our brand new Samsung 4K 120Hz HDR TV. This was our first TV upgrade in a long time, so understandably, I was drooling just thinking about how stunning any of my PC games would look on that beauty. The Samsung Q80T, it even has this dedicated Input Signal Plus HDMI port, and that's where you'll connect all of your gaming-centric, expensive 4K 120Hz hardware, like your PS5, your Xbox Series X, or this ridiculously expensive laptop. What could go wrong? Well, needless to say, the combination of Windows 11 and this shiny new TV was even more disastrous. Out of consideration for you, let me just consolidate hours of troubleshooting and hair pulling into this short list. Windows 11 refused to acknowledge that the TV was even HDR capable. Despite my best efforts, it refused to go beyond 60 Hz. Windows 11 also refused to respect my choice of only displaying output to the external display, in this case the TV. Activating the TV's game mode, which turns off various image boosting features to reduce input lag, resulted in a lost connection with the laptop. Now this, of course, was the only time Windows 11 actually respected my decision to not use the internal display, forcing a hard reboot. Several HDMI cables later, I finally established a 4K 120Hz HDR picture, but the display flickered black every few seconds. Do you ever start troubleshooting something and find yourself dizzy with anger and confusion, wondering what you could possibly try next to solve the problem? Wondering why on earth the solutions you've already tried didn't work? That's where I was at this point. I simply wanted to spend the short hours I had left that evening unwinding with one of my favorite game franchises of all time, Halo. By about 1 a.m., tired and bleary from this whole ordeal, I finally accepted the flickering and trudged through a few matches of Slayer. And I submitted to the reality that a combined $4,000 worth of hardware was just giving me the finger, refusing to behave, and there was nothing I could do about it. The next day, I invited my friend over. He knew I was exasperated, and he offered to help troubleshoot by seeing if his Xbox Series X would exhibit the same behavior on my TV. We poured a couple local English porters, and he plugged in his console using the very same HDMI cable. On his way back to the couch, he powered up the tiny little Xbox. In turn, the Xbox powered on my TV. And then my TV proudly acknowledged that it had detected an Xbox and auto-switched to game mode. Within literally a few more seconds, we were at the main menu of Halo Infinite, courtesy of the console's quick resume feature, even after it had been turned off and unplugged. I watched in equal parts awe and indignation as my friend happily played a round of Slayer in glorious 4K HDR. He also bounced between 60 Hz and 120 Hz effortlessly to demonstrate the game's quality and performance modes. He didn't touch as much as one setting. He didn't even need to turn on my TV. It all took mere seconds. And if I'm being honest, it looked comparable, if not identical, to the picture quality I'd get from my $800 Radeon graphics card. This Halo Infinite debacle isn't the first losing battle I've had with PC gaming. It's only the most recent. As games get more and more complex and the dizzying amount of PC hardware combinations continue to multiply, it seems like the potential for error skyrockets. To that end, I don't envy game developers. Not one bit. And don't misunderstand me. I adore PC gaming. There is no denying the raw appeal of tweaking and customizing and upgrading your hardware, truly personalizing it. And I appreciate the sheer power that's present in modern GPUs and the accompanying software that provides so many useful quality of life features. Hello, NVIDIA Broadcast. I respect the jaw-dropping photorealistic graphics that my own system is, well, sometimes capable of. However, as a gaming enthusiast in his 40s, I value one thing above all else: time. Now, I'm forced to consider how much of that precious commodity a console like the Xbox Series X could save me over the next several years. How many less technical headaches would I have? How much more gaming enjoyment would I have? If this experience was any indication, probably enough to matter. Probably enough to justify the purchase. And I have a hunch I'm not alone in this. Let me know if you've been feeling the same way. Thanks a ton for listening, and until we chat again, you take care, and take care of each other.